And we are live. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Laquanda's Heart. But tonight we are speaking on behalf of healing Black women. We are speaking on behalf of healing Black women. And so tonight we have one of our amazing contributors with us. And if you're unaware, Healing Black Women is a platform designed to create and to focus on all sorts of wellnesses when it comes to Black women. And that we have contributors that speak on a variety of topics and have specializations. And Miss Sheila King is with us tonight. She is our mental health and recovery contributor. And so, Sheila, thank you so much tonight for joining us tonight. We're having this discussion in honor of National Recovery Month. Um, I've had the pleasure of knowing Sheila from when I first moved to our area. She is one of my colleagues and dear friends, and she told me way back when, she said, if you're gonna start anything, let me know because I'm coming.
Yeah.
And so tonight we're gonna discuss the gift of life. But before we get into it, Sheila, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. What can I say? Well, I work for a homeless shelter. I have seven kids. I'm trying to get rid of one. Seven kids. I've been married for a while. Um, I love just going by the water. I love going by the water. That's something I love. And I love being home with my family and taking care of my girls. And that's why it is called Mother of My Girls, because I take care of my girls. And I'm almost 60.
Well, you still a baddie, Miss Sheila, even at almost 60. So Sheila, tonight, in honor, because I know it's one thing that you missed out. You have been in recovery for over 29 years now, which is something that is mind blowing for me. And then I was just like, wow, the dedication and commitment to life. And when we talked about what you would discuss, you decided to discuss the gift of life. Why was that important to you? Why did that come to mind?
Because I decided to say use the gift for life because that's what I've been given. I've been given a new way to live, a second chance. So, and it has been a gift, even with the good, the bad, and the difference, it still has been a gift that I wouldn't trade for anything.
So, Miss Sheila, can you start us in the beginning of your journey? Where were you, and how your journey has evolved over time?
Okay, my journey started 29 years ago. I think they brought in the drugs probably in 1987 or something, and it was really rampant in the Black community. I had not, prior to that, I had not tried drugs, or my thing was drinking, and so I found myself in 1990 deciding I wanted to try something else. I wanted to try the crack, and that became a way of life for a little bit, and the other grateful part of that, I hit a bottom really fast, drinking is so acceptable in our community. Drinking is acceptable. You can go in the store and buy it. You can do that. So people don't look upon drinking like they look upon drug use. And so I decided to use some crack cocaine, and I used it after I met this guy who was using it, and Laquanda, I wanted to know where his money was going, because I thought he had another family. I didn't know what was going on because he would come home on Fridays and he would be broke. And I'm like, you just don't get paid and just be broke the same night. I had no idea, no clue, no understanding. I just wanted to know, where is the money that you supposed to got paid for this week? And little did I know, I was going to find out, because I was so naive. Like I said, I thought he had another family, that he was giving his money to the woman and then coming to see me. So I was so naive. But right after that, not too long after that, I made a decision. Now, I would like to say I made the decision based on him, but for real, I made the decision based on me and some feelings that I had. And I needed to deal with those feelings, and I needed to get rid of those feelings. So I picked up the drug. I used the drug for probably about 6, 7 months, and it took me down real quick. Um, at the end of that, I had my kids was no longer in my life. I didn't have a stable home, and people went out their way to help me. They went out their way to help me. They did stuff that they wasn't really supposed to do. But the one thing about this disease is that if you're not ready, you're not ready. And you have to be ready in order to receive the gift, and so I found myself alone with myself. And I was a mess. I was truly a mess. And I was looking at him, I'm like, how did I get here? How did I get to where I'm at right now?
And Miss Sheila, how old were you during this time?
I was 26, 27, because I came in 28, 27, and I had 3 kids at the time. I had 3 kids and I was pregnant with one. So I had no idea what I was going to do. I had no idea what I was going to do, where I was going to go, and I was lost. Life had took a turn that I didn't really think I ever was going to get back from, but thank God it was people that had introduced me to places where I could go get help. And although those places that I went to go get help at, I didn't take the information in immediately. I had to go back out to do some more research because I just couldn't believe that you would start over where you left off at, and that's exactly what happened. I started off right where I left off at. And it got worse. And somewhere in my mind, I said, hey, people told me it was going to get worse if I did that again. And it began to get worse. And I looked up one day and I said, I can't do this no more. I just can't do this no more. My life is more than this. I have kids that I love, and I have to do something different. What I'm going to do different, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do different, but I got to do something different, So I decided to go back to the place where I was getting some help from people. I went back there and it was a 2 weeks. Actually, it was a 2 weeks detox I went to. And they asked me what lymph was I willing to go to get the help that I need. And I told them any lymph, but the truth was I wasn't really trying to go to any lymph. I was just trying to go there and then, but I did, I went a step further than I normally would with it. And from that day to this day, I have not found it necessary to do those things. And that's been 29 years ago. So yeah.
So let me ask you, because it's individuals can get to a point, and like you were saying, that you reach that crossroad of making a decision, because you know the disease is so strong. The illness can be so strong at times, and people, not everyone always realize that they can be stronger than the illness. How does someone navigate that space when you know you're trying to make that decision and that commitment to receive help? Because as you indicated, you went and tried before to get the help, and then you went back, and then things got worse, and then you went back to get help again. How do you go back to get help without feeling, because some individuals may feel ashamed to go back and get help. How were you able to navigate that space to overcome yourself, to get the help that you needed?
Well, for real, I just had two choices in that. It was either go back and feel what I felt, which was the shame, the defeat, um, or continue to go on like I was going on. And because I didn't want to continue to go on where I was going, I said to myself, I said, well, I know I had hit, at first I had to understand in my heart of hearts that I had hit a bottom. Because until I feel like I have hit my bottom, I'm not going to do anything. I don't care how many times I go. I can go 20 times, but if I haven't hit that bottom that fits me, I'm just going to keep going around in circles. And so I had to take that pride that I had, and it was really false. At that time, for me, it was really false pride, but it was pride. You know what I mean? And I had to take that, and I had to want to live more than I wanted to die.
Mm.
So I felt like, well, either way, they're going to talk about me. If I stay out there, they're gonna talk about me. If I go in there, but they didn't do that, because the thing is that for real, I can try to get help as many times as I need to, and for the most part, I would never be turned away. But that's if I want to keep going around on the merry-go-round and keep getting the same results. If I want to keep getting the same results, keep doing the same thing, and keep going back out, then they're there to give me the help that I need.
So, Miss Sheila, when you were looking, or when you got came to your point where you were receiving help, and let's just back it up for a couple of a little bit. What do you feel like are some of the biggest barriers to individuals getting help?
Okay. Back then when I came into the biggest thing then was it wasn't hard. It wasn't really hard to get the help that you needed. When I came around in 1991, it was programs that was there that would help you. Today is different. Today it's not as easy to get into. A lot of detox has been closed down. A lot of treatment centers has changed their rules and has closed down. So a lot of stuff now is going through Department of Behavioral Health. So you have to go through all of this to get some help. At one time you could kind of walk to the hospital and
Mhm.
say, I need some help. And they would take you in for 10 days, 12 days. Now it's not easy. Not only top of you have to have tests done, TB tests and stuff like that done. By that time, a lot of time people be like, I don't want to go through all that. Now you got to have the COVID test, you know, and people have to wait 5 days in order for them to for their test results to come back. And sometimes if you anything like I was, 5 days is just too long. to wait for somebody to help. When I got people over here saying, take some of this, it's going to help you, and so it's there, it's available. And at that time, the first one is free. I'm going to go for what I know, because what I need over here is not available to me right away. So I might as well keep doing what I'm doing over here. And if I'm lucky, I might end up over here to get the help that I need. But most likely, I'm going to stay out there and keep doing what I was doing, until I decide to do something else.
Sheila, that's something that you brought up, the system itself. Is the treatment system itself has become one of the bigger barriers to someone seeking treatment, because it seems like you have this window, this time period which someone that is really invested to move forward, and that's when we immediately need to bring them in. And as you indicated, there's so many things that have to take place, so it's part of the process now. And when you are looking at behavioral health departments, you are looking at additional rules and additional things that have to take place because of the state involvement, the state government or local government involvement, and the regulations that they have. But I would also say, when you look at, because we see the commercials, the infomercials about treatment, that sometimes when you want to move away from the public sector, the residential programs, they can be very beneficial or can be very pricey, very expensive, and difficult for someone who does not have that level of resources to get into.
That's true, but they also have things available. They have resources that's available, as far as if you got into a program. If you got into a program, then it's another step. They'll put you in transitional for the most part. So say you don't have anywhere to go when treatment is done, and you want to continue to get treatment and continue to be around a safe place that no one is doing those things, then a lot of times they will offer you a safe place. They will offer you transition. I remember when I was first came in, they had a lot of transitional houses available. Um, they had all sober houses available, and but it's just not like that today. It's just not as easy as it was back then. Because the cuts, the funds been cut. DC funds, Maryland funds been cut. They take it from here and put it somewhere else. So it's just hard to get the funding that is needed for these programs that are also needed. So.
So Sheila, let me ask you this. Based upon, and I know that you worked in the community, you worked in the field of social services, particularly with women dealing with homelessness who have either diagnosed or undiagnosed substance issues, substance related issues. What programs are you seeing that have been beneficial? Like, what are you seeing in the programs that have been beneficial for individuals?
Well, I can't speak on the particular program that I'm in. There's nothing in place. Like I said, you still have to go through the same channels. You have to go through Department of Behavioral Health. They might assist you in some areas, but for the most part, you're on your own. And so it is rampant in that community. And it is more that needs to be done in that community with that issue. Yeah.
So It seems like from what I'm hearing you saying is that individuals, once they seek out services, that they are having to navigate these difficult spaces for themselves. And just the idea of that, just deciding that you want to move forward with treatment, you're reaching out for treatment, then you're getting all these barriers again to move forward, because like you said, if I'm already alone, and then to get help, I'm alone again, that's gonna pull on my motivation to stay well.
Yes, and
It's
it just
gonna
going.
pull on my motivation to stay well. So how do you speak to that person that's trying it, but they gets caught up and lost in that system?
Well, what I would say to them is that you're gonna have to you're gonna have to I can't think of the word, but if you want to do something, you're gonna have to find a way to do it. Basically, you're gonna have to I don't know why I can't find the word, and it's right on my mouth, but you're gonna have to do that for yourself. You're gonna have to be your own advocate. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to advocate for yourself. You're gonna say, this is what I want, this is what I need, and how can I get it? What's my next step? And if you want it, you can get it. I mean, but you got to follow the step. It's gonna be some work to be done, and it's not gonna happen overnight. But as long as you advocate for yourself, it's a good chance that you'll get what you need. Um, because a lot of times they think that people come in and they plan, they just want an oil change, they call it. They just want to get uh be sober for a little while so then they can get some weight, get some, whatever it is they want to get, and then they go back out there and then they come back in again, and they start seeing these people come back in the door time and time again till they get to the point where, oh no, it's other people who want this, and you keep playing, so you have to, and then when you really at your bottom, you just have to advocate a whole lot harder to say, I want my life. I know I've been here 3, 4, 5 times, but who knows when I'm going to get it? I might get it that 5th time.
Because you indicated that you didn't get it the first time.
No, I didn't
That
get it the first time. I came in and I heard this stuff was strange. It was like it was a different type of life. You had to change your friends, you had to change your places that you went, uh, and you had to change things that you used to do. So it was almost like you had to change all this stuff in order to have a chance. And it's not easy to change those things when you're so used to them.
And
Those.
it's also not easy. We have to remember, because the environment, like you said, changing the environment, can hinder you so much when it comes to dealing with the disease. Because if you are living with someone who's using, and you don't have anywhere to stay, anywhere additional to stay, then you're seeing what you're seeing all the time.
That's true. And as far as I'm concerned, when I got out of treatment, I ended up back the same place where I had started my journey in the first place. And I went back there and I had probably about $2,000, on me. And I'm around the same people that's doing the same thing. And I'm in a danger zone, you know, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, if you do this, where you're going to end up at. It's going to get worse and it's never going to get better. And I begin to believe that. At that moment, I didn't have nowhere to stay, but I found somewhere to stay because I needed to remove myself from that place. Even though I was so familiar with that place and everyone that was there, I had to remove myself from that place, and I had to do something different that I never had done before. You know, get on the bus to go places to meet people that I never knew, but I'm meeting these new people that's doing the same thing I'm doing, you know. And so these people showing me we going out to coffee, we doing that kind of stuff. We're not going to the beer garden, we're not going to the liquor store, we're not going to the band around the corner, you know. It was totally something different to do, you know, and those things have to be changed because those things are the same thing that you used to before you were used to again if you don't change people, places, and things.
Yeah, we all know that environment takes a huge toll. And Sheila, just based upon the individuals that you serve now, how prevalent is substance use within the homeless community? Because I know you specifically work with women now.
Yes. Well, it's really a problem. It's really a problem. Um, just yesterday we had a situation.
Oh, one moment, just one moment, Sheila. Give me one moment. Hey, Sheila, look on your chat to the side.
Hmm.
Can you do you have on the same thing on my and give us a moment, everybody. Do you see comments, banners,
Uh,
brand private chat?
huh? Yeah.
Okay, look at private chat.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
And yeah, so it's just rampant, it's just rampant and homeless, the teenagers, you know, it's just rampant, and until a person get enough of doing the same thing that they do and getting the same results, they're not going to do anything different, and it's going to be the same thing. And if you're in an environment that allows you to do it, then you're going to do it. You're going to do what you know how to do, and then you're going to hook up with people who does the same thing that you do, So, yeah.
So Sheila, I know we we talking, sometimes when we share our stories, people take the impression of, well, you made it, you been in recovery for 29 years, you're you got it under control, but this journey hasn't been easy for you.
No.
Because I'm pretty sure along the way there has been triggering moments that could have taken you back.
Oh, yeah. It has been moments where I really didn't know if I was going to stay on this journey. One particular one is getting divorced. I think, when I first got here, the first thing that happened that was major is that I lost my grandmother, who has raised me from the age of 6 on up. And that was devastating. Um, then 10 years probably later, I lost my aunt who loved me, who was, if I could tell you the story of my aunt, and I really like to tell that story,
Yes.
but my aunt, she loved me, she loved my kids, she did, and it wasn't nothing that she wouldn't do for me and my kids, but definitely for my kids. And I remember when I got tired, and I was tired, and I didn't have any money, and I didn't have any cigarettes, no money, no nothing. And I remember saying, I don't know how I'm going to get there to treatment, but I got to try it. And I went to my aunt's house, and my aunt gave me $1 and a cigarette and told me, get on the bus and go over there and get some help. That dollar, that cigarette, I thank her for to this day, because had she gave me $5 and a cigarette, I probably wouldn't have went. So that dollar saved my life, because if she would have gave me anything other than $1, I might not would have went, you know. So yeah, so those are the kind of things that happened since I've been here. My aunt passed in, and then I saw this baby get killed in front of me, you know, by a car. And I was taking the twins to daycare, and that was like, I mean, I actually held the mother in my hand because she just kind of fell out, and asked was her baby alive, and it was just really bad. And I didn't know how I was going to get through that, because I had kids, and I just felt all the pain and all my own trauma going through that, you know, and knowing this lady's baby's not breathing, it was just something that I didn't know if I was going to be able to make through, but I made it through, what I've learned to do is get a power greater in myself in this way of life that I live today. The other thing was, I was in a 17-year marriage, and I walked out that marriage with the clothes on my back. I ended up leaving 3 kids there, which was the hardest thing in my life that I ever had to do, because my kids are my everything, you know. But because of the decision I made to leave, I didn't want to drag them with me. I didn't want them to go pillar the post. I didn't want to put them in, go into a shelter, because my kids lived a certain way of life. And so I decided to leave them where they were at, so they could have the things that they always had. You know what I mean? But I always been in their life to the point that I walked out that door. I was always in their life some kind of way. It was a very, very, very nasty divorce. It was days I didn't know if I was going to make it through. It was days I just wanted to give up. And I mean, it was just very intimidating at times. I stayed in the courts for a year, back and forth with one child and back and forth with him. And, it was just so ugly. I don't know, to this day, sometimes I still wonder how in the world did I get through all that. And again, it's that power that I found in my life, and the people that I have in my life that I could talk to. But yeah, and and even after I left, it was like I was still being punished, type of thing. And it was just so ugly. It was like, okay, but I can't give up my recovery. I can't give that up. That's the only thing I had that's going to help me fight this. And I fought it for probably about 7 years. Before it finally came to a situation where I have the kids. You know, and and all the things I've been fighting for 7 years finally came to an end. I didn't think it ever was going to end, but it did. And I was more grateful. Out of all of that, I was grateful that I did not pick up anything. That was my biggest gratitude, that I didn't pick up anything um, that I could have. I had, you gave me reasons. I helped somebody. The other thing, I helped somebody that was in my life dying from cancer. I had to help them, basically be there and watch them die. You know what I mean? And be there for them, to clean them, and to be there for them to whatever they needed. And I was never that type of person. I was always a runner. I was like, oh no, I'm not married to you. That's not mine. I gotta go. But I got some strength from somewhere to do these things that I needed to do, and be a better person than I was when I walked in the door, of that treatment center that was asking for help. And and I was able to do those things, those tough things in life that I probably wouldn't have done. I probably would have ran from had I not had a power to lean on and people that cared about me, to talk to.
So Sheila, what would you think? And the first of all, that's amazing. It's just amazing. You're just so amazing. I've known you for years, and you're just so amazing. The level of strength, and to know where you were, and the moments that could have taken you down a certain path, and but you remain on the course. I would just have to say you're an amazing woman, and I am so happy to know who you are. Um, what would you say, Sheila, to someone who may be watching who is trying to take that first step, and then what would you say to the person who's in recovery, um but they are feeling the pressure of maintaining their recovery?
Okay, for the person who's is having pressure to maintain their recovery, I say reach out. Reach out. Um, you can reach out to people that's there available for you. You could call the hotline, to get extra strength. It's a lot of things that you can do. Pray, you know, um, talk to someone, and it works. I mean, it really works. It sounds simple, and it is in a way, but sometimes the phone could be the heaviest thing in the world to pick up, you
Mm,
know. So, and that what keeps us where we at, because we don't want to pick up that phone and say, "Oh, I'm hurting. I need some help. Can you help me? Can you listen to me?" And sometimes somebody listen to you, and because most of the time we got our own answers anyway, but we need someone to listen to us. And usually we find the answer in that. However, that is just really how it works, and understand that it's not going to get any better. If we decide to do something else, go back there to where we came from, it's not going to get any better. It's going to get worse. And with this pandemic going on, it's not easy to get into treatment. Because first of all, they got to separate you from all the other people, and so it's just a whole lot you got to do today to get back into treatment, and so if you already in treatment, hang in there, take those steps, those suggestions that you was given when you got here, and use them. Yeah.
so Sheila, what about to the person that is sitting where you were that one day, and you were looking around, you were just like, this ain't it. Is me. I can't live to die. It's just like, it's me, or I may not be here tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, for that person, you have to make a decision, and you have to make a decision and stick with the decision. You know, um, do I want to live, or do I want to die? Like this. And ask yourself, am I worth it? If my kids worth having their mother or their father, am I worth it? And ask for help. They got hotlines, they got Department of Behavioral Health, where you can go to at least get a start about how I can get the help that I need. But you have to find that courage within yourself. You have to know in yourself that you're tired, you know, Yeah, I could be tired for today, but are you gonna be tired tomorrow with that same I want that help type of, you know? And so it's very important when you at that point where you tired to get the help that you need, because most likely that's when it's gonna work. You know, if I'm sitting in there saying, oh, another thing, if I'm sitting in there saying, oh, I ain't do that. Oh, I ain't do this. Oh, I ain't, don't do that, because all those things you say you didn't do, you will do, you know, and it's just going to be worse, you know. So ask for help, pick up the phone, call a hotline, call someone, tell them you need some help, and I'm sure they will help you. People will help you when you want to help yourself. It's when you don't want to help yourself, people is not going to waste their time in helping you until you're ready.
And you said this several times, like you have to be ready.
Hmm.
Like you have to be ready. And it is there's this acknowledgement of this is my journey.
Yeah.
This ain't, you know, the person, the director's journey. This ain't the therapist's journey. This isn't my peer's journey. It's mine.
Yes.
And I have to be the person that makes the first decision.
Yes. I have to be the person to make that first step. No one can do it for me. I have to do it for myself.
And what about the third person? The person who's done it over and over and over again.
For the person who done it over and over again, it's help for them too. You know, because everybody don't get it the first and second time. Some people I have heard people say, I've been here 14 times. I've been here 15 times. And I didn't get it till the 16th time, you know. But they got, and so you can, don't give up. I'm just saying, don't count nobody out. You know, no one should be counted out. I don't care how many times you've been there. No one should be counted out, because you don't know that 15, 16 times they may be ready. It may be that real sincere, I had enough ready. And then they would be open.
And you know, and I think, and you said it so beautifully. And I talk about this when I talk about mental health. When I say, you know, I had to be in the hospital. You know, I have to see a therapist. You know, I have to take medicine. I have a psychiatrist, and all that is for me to have the opportunity to get better. You know, it's like there's the opportunity for me to get better because these things are in place. And so, you know, you have to give yourself the opportunity
Yes.
for wellness to take place. And
Yes.
realize that you're dealing with a disease. You're not the names that people are calling you.
Right.
You're not the things that you see on television, and you're not that imagery. You know, you're a person with an illness, and
Yeah.
you need to give yourself forgiveness and grace. And let's talk about that right there, Miss Sheila. Giving yourself forgiveness and grace, because there can be so much shame in seeking help because maybe you've hurt a loved one, or maybe you had to make a tough decision like you made, to allow the kids to remain where they are so that they could be safe. You know,
Mhm.
let's talk about that, getting yourself to a point of forgiveness and allowing yourself grace.
Um, with the forgiveness piece, I think uh, it takes time. It takes a lot of work, because I know for me, I had a lot of guilt when I came in, and a lot of shame when I came in. And so I had to work on those things. So those kind of things would not take me back to a drink or whatever I wanted. So I had to work on those type of things, and it didn't come overnight. Um, I had to continue to turn it over to power greater than myself. and I had to continue to start saying I love me, um, that I'm worthy. I have an illness, you know, and what I wouldn't have did those things had I not had an illness, you know. And so stop beating myself up, take my foot out my tail, and keep moving forward. Because what I truly believe and know and seen is that whatever you did when you was out there, you keep working on yourself and keep getting better and keep making yourself get better. Keep doing what you need to do. All the stuff you did out there most likely gonna come around again, and it's gonna be better. If you don't have a relationship with your kids, you'll probably end up having a great relationship with your kids. You know, if you burned a lot of bridges, you're gonna have a chance to miss some of the bridges that you burnt. Um, so I just say, keep the focus on yourself and do what's in front of you that needs to be done and what other people suggest that you do, and you'll get through. You'll get through the shame and the guilt and the remorse and the stuff that I walked in the door with. You know.
So, Miss Sheila, as we close out, what do you want to leave with for anyone? Do you have any closing words?
Well, I guess my closing words are I'm grateful for a new way of life. I'm grateful for the gift of life. You know, it has been really, I had an opportunity to do some of the things that I never thought I would do, like going back to school, getting married again, you know, everything, that I left behind has came back tenfold. And my attitude and about life and the way I treat people and the work I get to do on me. I get to own my mental illness. And I never did that before. I never. I wouldn't even discuss it. So those are gifts. Those
Well,
are gifts.
Sheila, it has been beautiful to see first hear your journey, but to see it firsthand. It's been a beautiful, beautiful experience. I am so happy and again so proud of the woman that you are and everything that you pour because you are not only do you go through this journey, but you pour into other people to help them along theirs. It takes a beautiful spirit to not only go through the things that you've been able to go through and face them, but then be able to help other individuals, as they deal with the things that come towards them. So thank you so much for everything that you do.
You
Um,
welcome.
just thank you. And we are so blessed to have you with us as part of the Healing Black Women family. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So I would like to thank everyone for watching. If you know someone who you feel that this message may resonate with them, you can find it on our website tonight at healingblackwomen.com. Again, I'd like to thank Miss Sheila, Healing Black Women's mental health and recovery contributor, for joining us. You can check out Miss Sheila at Mother of My Girls on Instagram. Or you can also see any blogs that she has written on our website at www.healingblackwomen.com. Thank everyone for joining us and you have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.